Well, you know how email scammers, how they deliberately put spelling mistakes and bad grammar into their email messages, their scam messages, as a way to filter out recipients, potential marks for intelligence, or rather to ensure a certain intelligence level or education level among those who respond to their scams. You understand what I mean? It's quite clever. You know, let me make this poor enough quality, my message poor enough quality that I can guarantee, so that I can guarantee that only the people who respond will be people who have no discernment, people who cannot distinguish quality from garbage. That's the people that you want. So they deliberately try to make the language flawed and foolish in those emails on purpose, because they're looking for a particular type of person. They're looking for a particular type of mind that's more likely to fall for the scam. That's a tactic. It's a tactic. It's not a mistake. Well, in my opinion, the same thing is true, really, about a lot of what you're seeing now from the US government and from mainstream media on any given issue. It doesn't matter. The buffoonery isn't accidental, in my opinion. You know, the over the top rhetoric, the really flamboyant stupidity of their statements and their actions, the utterly unbelievable messaging. So, see, if you perceive all of that, everything that I'm talking about, if you perceive all of that, I mean, if you're looking at all of that stuff coming out of Washington and you see it as buffoonery and you see it as unbelievable stupidity, then that just means that you're not the intended target of the messaging. They're filtering you out. The government and the mainstream are no longer looking for support from the wider population. You understand? They're not looking for support from intelligent people. The messaging of the political leadership and the mainstream media is now niche. That tells you a lot. It's niche. You know, the aggressive unseriousness of their rhetoric and their actions. It's a loyalty test. That's what it is. They recognize that fewer and fewer intelligent people are buying the official US narrative, the official Western narrative. So they're not even bothering now to try to reach them. They're not trying to reach intelligent people. This is massive. This is a massive change. The idiocy of the rhetoric and the cartoonishness of their ideological appeals is a deliberate filtering mechanism. You understand? We don't even expect intelligent people or moral people to buy the American narrative anymore. This is what they're saying. Patriotism, nationalism, capitalism, democracy, and whatnot. We're conceding that all of these messages can only possibly resonate with the absolute dregs of society. So if that's not you, keep scrolling. This is the message. I mean, think about what that means. They're not even trying now to persuade the population. They're not trying to persuade them. They're sorting them. I mean, think it through. You try to persuade, or a state or a power structure tries to persuade, when they're trying to, or when they're interested in establishing their or cementing their legitimacy with the public. So when they stop trying to persuade you, then you are no longer a part of the equation of their legitimacy. That's why the messaging is so theatrical. That's why it's so ridiculous. That's why it's so absurdly and aggressively infantile. It's not for the person who reads or researches or compares, or even someone who remembers yesterday. Anyone who has a moral spine to one degree or another. Anyone who still feels embarrassed when they see a grown man lying poorly in public. No, it's for the person who wants to be told what to feel, who wants membership, not truth. They're sorting for membership, who qualifies and who doesn't qualify. And the main criteria for qualifying for membership is that you should have the brain and the backbone of a slug or a worm. As for the rest of you, you're not eligible for membership. You're eligible for culling, for marginalization, for detention, for deportation. You understand? They don't say stupid things and do stupid things because they are stupid. It's because they're building a stupid club. Because America is not interested in developing domestically anymore. They're not interested in developing. I've been telling you for a long time that your so-called civilization, your so-called culture, your country has betrayed you and betrayed you badly. And now you see it. Now you can see it. If you're looking closely, you can see it. Your government and your power structure has unambiguously chosen which type of citizens they like and which type of citizens they do not like. They like the ones who will drink the Kool-Aid that they give them, even when they know that that Kool-Aid is blood. And they'll drink it and ask for a refill. Those are the ones they want. The ones who are willing to walk in an orderly line all the way, straight into the slaughterhouse if their masters tell them to do it. You need to understand, if you're not like that, if you're not a fool like that, if you're not a slave like that, if you're not hateful and bigoted and hypocritical and a worshiper of power like that, then that just means that you fell through the cracks. You're an anomaly. You're a glitch. You're a failure of the system, because that is what the system is designed to produce. Not people like you. People like you are an anomaly. And you know this because the ones who built the system and who run the system right now, like I say, they're turning all their attention and all their focus and they're pinning their legitimacy on those types of people. And in so doing, they're telling you that your type of people is superfluous. You don't belong. You don't count. They don't need you and they don't want you. I mean, don't you remember those old ads, those old commercials for the military, for the army, showing some jarhead grunt taking orders, crawling on his belly in the training under barbed wire or whatever, shooting his rifle at whatever they told him to shoot his rifle at, running head first to become cannon fodder. That was the image that they showed you. What did they tell you about that image that they showed you? About that automaton of a human being, a robot of a human being. What did they say? Be all that you can be. Isn't that what they said? Join the army, be all that you can be. This is the best you can be. This is the most you can be. This is all you can be. Isn't that what they said? Right or wrong? But you didn't get the message. What the message was disposable. Be all you can be, which is disposable. Disposable, proudly disposable, for the interests of power, for the interests of those people who are at the top, who are the ones who set the ceiling of what you can be, who determine for you what all you can be is. So you can't say they didn't tell you. You can't say that they didn't tell you what they intended for you. It was just, you didn't understand the assignment. I mean, you could sort of take a hint about the way things were going, the mentality that's at play. If you look at the red pill movement, all the childish discourse around masculinity online and so on, how they talk about how a man is supposed to have authority. The man is supposed to have authority, and that in order for his authority to work, well, the woman has to be obedient. That's the basis of his authority, right? Her obedience is basically what gives him his authority, not his virtues, not his own virtues, not his own qualifications, not his own wisdom, not his own care and his sense of judgment and his sense of responsibility and so forth. No, his authority, according to them, doesn't have to be earned. It just has to be respected and followed by default, no matter what kind of a man he is. Well, that's the same here. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about a power structure that does not believe anymore, if they ever did, in the idea of legitimacy being earned through approval by the public that's based upon their own performance. We're talking about a power structure that says, obey me no matter what. That's all. Just obey me no matter what. And that segment of the population that is the equivalent of the pick-me type, yes, absolutely, whatever you say, boss, right? Whatever you say goes. That's the type that they want. That's who they want. That's the population they want. And anyone and everyone else is a hater and will be dealt with as such. Oh, America is tired of pretending now. They're just tired of pretending. They don't want to explain or justify or convince anybody anymore. They just want to be obeyed. No questions asked. You get it?